So, the reveal event for Sea of Thieves 2024 has released, and it's a big one. In this 20-minute video released by Sea of Thieves, they spoke about what you can expect from seasons 12 to 14 and much more in between. And there is a lot of information to unpack here, but me being me, I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as I can, so we're going to try and talk about all of this in 3 or so minutes. Just remember, not everything's going to be said in this video, so go watch a 20-minute video if you are interested. Let's get into it. So, right off the start, we have new weapons being added to Sea of Thieves, and they are in the form of a new melee weapon known as the throwing knives, which have a light and heavy attack, as well as the ability to throw and do damage. If you find yourself using the light attack for this weapon, it'll do little damage. The heavy attack will give you a bit more, but it really shines when you do a throwing attack. Furthermore, if you do throw the throwing knife and miss it, you'll be able to pick it up as it embeds itself within the items in Sea of Thieves. That means if you hit it on a boat and it hits a mast, it'll get stuck in the mast. You get the idea. And lastly, if you do miss that throwing knife and it lands by another player, they can pick it up and throw it back to you. In addition to the throwing knife, they're also adding a double barrel flintlock. That does exactly what you'd expect it would. It's a flintlock with 2 barrels. You can shoot them both at the same time, or one after the other. It's up to you. In addition to new weapons, they've also added new tools, and they come in the form of 3 different items. First of all, you have a wind cooler. Second of all, you have a scatter shot. And third of all, you have a bone cooler. Starting with the scatter shot, it's essentially a group of smaller cannonballs that do scattered tier 1 damage around a boat. Additionally, the bone cooler throwable spawns allied skeletons. That's pretty crazy. And lastly, the wind cooler, which is essentially a trumpet that makes you go faster. It puts wind in your sails and lets you go past full speed. That's cool as well. You can also knock people back and yourself back in the water. So that's, yeah. You can blow things, all right? You can blow things. Moving on. There's a few world changes too. They're adding zip lines to certain spots, so it makes your life a bit easier. You can also walk along these zip lines and slide down them. On top of that, you can also use harpoons like zip lines, and you can walk across them and slide down. And all of this is coming in Season 12. Moving on. Season 13. Season 13 sees the return of Flameheart in a new type of world event. And this world event is a boat that you can fight that freely sails around the world. It has 10 cannons, it's freaking huge, and it has a flamethrower on it. And when you complete this world event, you have the ability to board it and pledge yourself to Flameheart so you can take control of that boat. And in addition to this new ship, they also have new skeleton camps situated around the Sea of Thieves world. And under those skeleton camps comes new ancient temples. There's a lot to unpack there, so I suggest you watch the video for that. But essentially, you'll go to these locations, you'll get tribute for your boat, which will give you more value, then you can eventually turn that boat into Flameheart where you get your reward. And additionally, you can get sank at any time doing this, allowing the other crew to take over your spot on that boat and have them take control. Now, finally, moving on to Season 14, which is going to release towards the end of the year. And there's not a whole lot of set-in-stone information, but they did talk emphasis on focusing on stealth play in Sea of Thieves. This could come in the form of hanging on the side of ships or crouching and cutting out the sound of footsteps. There was also talk about being able to hide in treasure chests that other crews can pick up and you can move. That's some Sly Raccoon type shit, but hell, I'm for it. And they also mentioned the possibility of a new weapon in the form of a blow dart, which you can shoot out a dart and it does different effects to the enemy. On top of that, they also spoke about the possibility of adding traps into the world that players can use to trick other players, so that's pretty cool as well. Lastly, they spoke about a new multi-purpose tool that allows you to grapple yourself on different islands that takes the form of an Eye of Reach. With that being said, that's pretty much the essentials spoken about in under 4 minutes. However, this whole preview event is 20 minutes long, so I'm not going to get into all of that. If you do want to see it, you'll be able to find it on the internet or linked somewhere as well. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you do want to see more Sea of Thieves content in the future, make sure you hit that notification bell. Also, comment your favorite feature of the upcoming year down below. I'd love to read it. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Goodbye for now.